Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will create a portfolio website using React, HTML, CSS, JS, and Bootstrap. Let's see how this website looks. Here in the top and sticky, we have a sticky navbar with some links, like for example home, skills, and project. For the banner, we have the introduction part where you can show and introduce yourself with the introductory text, and you can also show your profile picture here. Next, we have the skills part where you can show your skills, and since almost of us have more than 3 skills, so I made it as a carousel. And if we click on this arrow button icon, it will scroll right or left. And before the last, I think, we have the project part where you can show your own project, project. And if we hover through this part, it will show the project detail. And just before the last, we have this contact me part where if anyone wants to contact you, they can send us some message. And for the end, we have this footer with some copyright. Now that you know what we are going to do, let's jump to the code part. In the description, I already prepared for you some starter code that you can download and then unzip it and open it with your favorite IDE. In this case, use Visual Studio Code. Inside of that starter code, I already prepared for you some basic React structure with some asset like image. Now, let's first make all of our components. We will make a new folder called components, and inside of that we will have the navbar. And inside of that we will have a navbar.jsx, banner.jsx, it's not capital, JSX, skills.jsx, project.jsx, contact.jsx, and for the last we have the footer.jsx. And inside of this each file we will write prof C and press tab. So it is not working, wait a second, and press tab. Will automatically create us some basic structure of React or of JSX file. If your is not working, all you have to do is go to the extension and then install some extension called ES7. This extension will simplify your React writing. So what you have to do is install it and then run it. Like for example, we write some RIFCE, but in this case I already installed it, and you can install it here. Same like others, we'll write RIFCE and then press tab, RIFCE and then press tab, again, and again. Now that we are already make the basic structure of all of our components, now let's go to the app.js. I will rename it to app.jsx. So in here, we can change it to app.css. Now, we can import all of our component here just by writing their name component. Like for example, just by typing the component name. Like for example, navbar, and if I press tab, it will automatically import it for me, and I can finish this line. And by the way, all of this component is a self-closing tag because we didn't pass any data yet. Next, we have the banner tab, and then finish the line. Skills, not like this. Skills tab, finish the line. Project, it will be projects with an S, projects, yes, we go back to the app.js, projects, right, projects, and then I will remove that one, contact, and footer for the last one. Let's run it in our server with a command called npm start or npm run. You can use that one too. Or you can even use the yarn start. But in this case, I will just use the npm. Just wait it to opening. Waiting. Okay, so I decided to use npm run start. Still waiting. Starting the development server, and here we go. It is finally opening. But still loading in the web browser. Okay, it is finally opening, but there is error. So it is because I forgot to change it to lowercase, not uppercase, and in the index.js file I forgot to remove the index.css import. So if we remove that 2 line of code, now we should good to go. Here, as you can see, we have the text of each component. Now what we are going to do is make that component one by one. To do that, first we need some Bootstrap. So let's go to the Bootstrap website. I use Bootstrap version 4.6. Now let's see. We will copy it in the quick start, not in the starter template because it is too much code, and we just needed the JS and CSS import. We can copy this one, copy, and then we can paste it in index.html. We can remove this unusable code, and we will put the CSS import under this title. We can change it to React Portfolio for the title, and below of this root we will have that JS import. We will just have the bundle, copy and paste it, delete this no script. I will press Alt Shift F. That's the shortcut for beautifying the code. I was using the Beautify extension. As you can see here, you can install it too. No, that have been done. Let's see in the website. It is not changing anything. But now we can start to make the component. First one, we will have the navbar. Navbar, we can search in here, navbar, and we will copy this one, first one. Now, let's go to the navbar.js file and copy it in here. But before we copy anything, we will create a React fragment. It is something like this. Same like other HTML tag, but it is without some text. Paste the navbar here, Alt Shift F again, and if you are new in the React, we cannot just write some self-closing tag without this slash. So we have to give the slash. We have to give that slash to the self-closing tag in here. Alt Shift F. Now let's first change all of this class to class name by pressing Ctrl G and then press it until all of this is selected. Or you can either use the Ctrl H. This will find the class and it will change to class name. It's the same, but I usually do with the Ctrl G because it is so much simpler. We can change with this one, replace all or Control Alt Enter. Click and it will change all of that class to class name. Because in navbar, in React, we are not using class but class name. Same like style. If in HTML we write the style like this, in React we write it like this. The attribute, like for example background, and then the background color, like for example gray, like that. I will remove this. Now let's see how this navbar looks. We didn't do any change yet, but we will see it first. As you can see here, we have the navbar same like in a Bootstrap website, but we are going to make some modification. First, we will remove the form search because we didn't really need that, the disable, and the drop down. I will remove that too. And for this one, I didn't need this span SR only. So what we're going to do is just need this 2, 3, because we're going to duplicate it one more time. Now we can change the first one to home. It is already home. The second is going to be skills. The last one is going to be projects. And this MR auto, I will change it to M auto, so it will make it in the center of the navbar. And for the navbar, I will change it to the username. Now let's see how it looks. And as you can see here, we have this similar navbar like this one, not this one. Oh, I already closed the part for the original one. But one thing we have to do is wrap this all nav content like this, Ctrl X, cut, not delete or copy. And then we will make a container div and put it inside of that container. Alt Shift F again, and let's see how it looks. Now, as you can see here, we have this navbar same like the original one. Next, we will have the banner. For the banner, same like navbar. First, we are going to make a React fragment again, and for the banner, we are going to copy the Jumbotron component from the Bootstrap. So let's search in the Bootstrap, Jumbotron, enter, and we will copy the first one, same like before. We're going to paste it here, Alt-Shift-F. Oh, I'm sorry, there is some sub-closing check, so we have to get the slash in here. Now we are going to make this Jumbotron empty first, and we will make a new div with the class of container, and inside of that container we will have row, and that row is going to have class equal to align items center, and inside of that we will have two div call md6. We will have two div with the class of call md6. The first one is going to be the introductory text, like for example h1, and the text is going to be hello, I am John, and we will have a PR text for spacing, p text for the description, and we'll just write I am a web developer and I'm passionate about building. So this is just something that my GitHub autopilot do. Next, instead of this other call md6, I will make it for the photo profile. And here import. But first, we are going to have to import the image. Import one from dot slash assets slash image slash dummy1.png. So this is just some image I generate from the website, and instead of this second column, this 6, we will have img. The source is dummy. We will use curly brace because we are using the React component. The alt is going to be just photo profile picture. Class name is going to be img fluid. Width equal to 70%, and this column md6 is going to have text bright class. Now let's see how it looks in the website. And as you can see here, we have this nice banner introduction that we saw earlier in this video. Now the banner is done. We can next to the skills. And the skills same like other, and we will do it and we will do the same thing again and again for the basic coding of each file. Like for example, first we will add the React fragment, and inside of the skills we will have a section tag with a class of pi1 pi3 and the class is going to be content section, and inside of that we will have a container. Inside of that container we will have row. Inside of that row inside of that row we will have call md12, and that call md12 is going to have text center class, and inside of it we will have h1, and then text is skills. below this first section, we will have the real content section. And here we will have section dot bb strip or dash 2, and with the same class, that is content section. Instead of that, we will have a carousel. For the carousel, we can copy it from the Bootstrap. So let's search in here, carousel. For this one, I will choose the width control. We'll copy code, paste it in here, Alt Shift F, but this image is do not have a slash yet. After we add that, we can Alt Shift F to automatically beautify our code inside of it, and we will import the dummy image one more time. Dummy one from dot slash assets slash png slash dummy dash png. And after importing the image, we will change this src to the dummy one. We will just delete all of this first, and then change the src attribute to the dummy one. Comma. And for the out, I will just make it something like carousel item ing. Now let's see how it looks in the website. Scroll here, and as you can see here, we have a big carousel, but we want it as a card. So inside of each carousel item, we will make a card. So in each of this carousel item, I will make a row. First one is row, and inside of this row, we will have call md4, and that's it. And we will make three of them. And instead of this call md, we will give it a card. In Bootstrap, you can search it card. I will copy the first one, copy to clipboard, and then paste it in each of this call md4. Enter, and then copy paste, and we have to give a slash for this image so that he can close the line, or that ing tag can close the tag. And as I said in earlier, we cannot write the style in React like this. We have to do that like this. Style equal to double curly brace, and then the attribute is going to be the width, and the width is going to be 100%. I will change it to 100%. Now let's see how it looks in the website. And as you can see here, it's looking not quite good actually, but we can change it now. So we will remove this, all of this carousel ing. Save, and then open it up again. Now there's no more ing. And I also forgot we are not in the row tag, but we should be making the div with the row class. So I will change it to div, and then I will give this class, I will give it a class equal to class name is equal to row. Now let's see how it looks. And as you can see here, now we have a nice looking cart carousel. But we can give it some more style. Like for example, inside each of inside of this carousel item, we will give it a container so that we can give some margin or padding in the right and the left side of the card. Now let's see. Now this is what we are talking about. But since the background is white and the icon is white, the icon is not visible yet, but we will change it later. We can next to the project component, same like other. We start with creating a React fragment. For the project, we will create something like section with a class of pt5 and with a class of content section. Inside of that, we will have a container div, and inside of that container, we will have row. Inside of that row, we will have column 12, and that column D12 is going to have a text center class. And inside of that, we will have h1 with a text of my project. So this is just same like the skills. This is the heading, or this is the title of the section. Now we will create some accessories. Inside of this container, we will make a new row. Inside of that row, we will have two colmd3, 2, and this 2 colmd3 is just going to be empty, and between this 2 colmd, we will have a call md6 with a class of text center. Inside of that, we will have button with a class of btn primary dot m2, and the text is going to be tab 1. So this is going to make a button with a class of btn and the btn primary, and the m is equal to 2. So the btn class is going to change this button to the Bootstrap button. The btn primary is going to give a primary color to this button, and that color is blue. And this m2 is going to give this button margin 2 or margin 2. I will duplicate it 2 more times. This one is 2 and 3. Let's see how it looks. Here, as you can see, we have this my project and the tab 1, 2, 3. For now, it is not going to work. This is just some accessories. And below that heading section, we will have a section with a class of pt2 and with a class of content section. Inside of that section, we will have a container, and that container will have a row with a class of text center. Inside of the text center, we will have a call md4 and class of my3 and project item. We will make it 6 more times. Make it to 6, and each of this will have an image img tag with the source of dummy1. Did I even import it? Oh, not yet. So we can import it. import dummy1 from data slash assets slash image slash dummy.png or slash img. And for the alt, we'll have project image. We'll give it a width, style equal to, we'll tap it first, width, and the value is going to be 100%. And the class is going to be class name equal to project img. Below that, we will have a div with a class of details and inside of that we will have a row. Inside of that row we will have a call md12, and inside of that call md12 we will have, first one is the title of the project title, and below that we will have the h6, and that h6 is just going to fill out by the lorem, and that lorem is going to be the project description. Now the first one is done. You can copy and paste it through all of this div or through all of this project item. I can enter and then copy, paste it here, Alt Shift F. Now let's see how it looks. And as you can see here, we have something like this. And I forgot it again. I will change it to div, not the row tag, but the div tag with a class of row. Let's see. Now this is what we're talking about. For now, the project title, the project details is just going to be appear or visible, but this one is optional. You can make it hidden, so if the user hover through your image project, it will appear, or you can make it already appear in the first time. That's optional, but we will make the animation later. Now we can next to the content. This part is quite simple. We can create a new React fragment like before. We will have a section .pt5, and that is going to have a pb32, and like others we will give it a content section class. Inside of that we will have a container class .container. Inside of that container we will have a row. Inside of that row, call mb12.textCenter.mb2, the same like others. h1 contact me. Now below of that row we will make a new row. Now below of that section we will make a new section with a class of pt3 and pb3 in 4. And like others, we'll give it content section class, and instead of that we will have a container. Inside of that container we will have a row with class of justify content center dot align items center dot text center, and then tab, and inside of that row again I make it as a tag. Sorry, this should be some class. Inside of that div we will have two call empty, two, and inside of the first one we will have a label tag. First one is name, and HTML for its name, and we'll give it a space, or if that isn't enough, you can add it by n and symbol and then NBSP and then semicolon. That should be adding some additional space. Below that, we will have an input with a type of text, and the class name is form control. Placeholder is name, and the ID is name. And next, I will make the email input. The email is just similar to the name. The difference is just this one is email. We'll change it to email, and email. Now below of this row, we will make a new row with a class of justify content centered, and another class is items, align items center. Inside of that, we will have a call and this 6, and inside of that, we will have an input group .mb3, and inside of that mb3 we'll have a text area with a class. We don't need this one's attribute with a class name is equal to form control, and placeholder is your message. And then also I forgot to wrap all of this to the input group .mb3 as that here. I'll shift F, and for the last we will have the button. Make a new row with a class of justify content center, line item center, and we will have a call md6. Instead of that, we will make a button with a class of btn and btn primary, and with the text of submit. Let's see how it looks. Scroll down, and as you can see here, we have this contact form, same like in the demo. And for the last one, we will make the footer. The footer is just a simple footer. Like before, we will make a React fragment, and instead of that, we will have a footer with a class name. We will have a footer tag with class py4, and for this one, we will also give it a content section. Inside of that footer, we will have a container div. Inside of that container div, we will have a row with a class of align items center, and justify content center. inside of that row we will make a 12 and 12 dot text center. I mean a div with a class of call md12 and a class a text center class. Instead of that we will make a p tag, and we will make a b tag so that we can make the text bold, and we will write the copyright code. It is an in symbol, copy, and then semicolon, and all right reserve I programmer. Now let's see how it looks. And as you can see here, we have this nice looking footer. Now time for us to give it a style to all of this. Open up your app.css file. Now the first one is I will make all of this margin is equal to 0, padding equal to 0. Now we will make for the body. The body is scroll. I don't need anything with that. And for the first one, we have the project item. Position is going to be relative. That's that. Next, we'll have the details. This one is for giving the details some animation, but you can give it or not. It's optional. Width is equal to 100%. Height 100%. Background color is RGBA 0.5. Color is white. Since the background is black, we don't want the text to be black too, right? And the padding is 0, top 0, left 0, 0, left 0, right 0, and the bottom is 0. Next, we will make for the details space and then dot row. This means it will search the details div, and inside of details div, it will search some element with the row class. If you want to understand more, you can check out my CSS playlist. Row, and the row is going to margin top is equal to 50%, and we will have the details. The opacity is 0. Now we can make the animation. The animation is keyframes. The animation name is fade in, and just like this, from opacity 0 to opacity 1. We can apply it to the project item, and when over, it will run the animation fade in ease, and the duration is 0.5 seconds. You can edit it as you want. Next, we'll have animation iteration count is 1. Animation fill mode is forwards. Now, I forgot to add one, and here we have a dot jumbotron. We will give it a background equal to FFF height, and the background size is cover. Background position is center, and also this background topic is already in my CSS playlist, so you can check it out. Min height is 35 pb. This will add up with the device width. So if you minimize or resize the width of or resize the device width, it will adapt. Now let's see how it looks. And boom, as you can see here, we have this nice looking portfolio. But there is something that is the content section, and we will give a background color equal to text code is E8, something like this. Let me check. It is something like this. Yep, something like this. And let's see. And as you can see here, we have this nice looking portfolio, and we also forgot to add the image in the skills. Oh, we are not using it yet. So let's change it. Source, all of this image source is going to be dummy1, and the alt is just going to be project item. So let's see, and as you can see here, we have this nice looking card. Now we can change the card title. We go here, card title. Card title is the programming language you have, or the skills of the programming language you have. And I will make it as a text center. Now let's see how it looks. And as you can see here, we have this nice looking skills card carousel. Now all is done. I think that's it for this tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.